I'm a legislative aide with Supervisor Matt Haney's office, and also our office representative for Treasure Island. So if you have any issues here, I will likely be the person you will come to. So I look forward to meeting all of you, and we're really excited to be here tonight and to really start our process of learning more about the issues that are happening here, listening to you all, and figuring out how we can best support you all as our constituents. So again, we're really excited to be here tonight. Our agenda is going to be that I'll pass it over to Supervisor Haney in a minute, who will introduce himself and sort of what we're thinking and sort of our vision for working with you all. And then we have a number of city departments and agencies here as well who can hopefully answer some of your questions about what's been going on. We have representatives from TIDA, the Treasure Island Development Authority, from the SFMTA, our Transit Authority, the PUC, and the Department of Emergency Management as well. And I will say before I hand it over that we're really excited to see so many people here tonight, but that also means that when it comes to asking questions, which is really what we want to focus on tonight, so please try to keep your questions and comments pretty short so that we can make sure to get information back to you. So we'll just ask that you, recognize the space that you are taking and make sure that we can get to as many people as possible. And if we're not able to get to your questions and comments tonight, my contact information is up here. I have some business cards we'll hand out, and we also have some comment cards that hopefully you were able to get when you came in. So thanks again, and with that said, I'll pass it over to Supervisor Haney.
First of all, I'm just so excited that everybody showed up, and just to have a packed room and to have you all here to be a part of this conversation is really exciting. So my name is Matt Haney. I am your new supervisor. I have been in office for not even 2 months yet, so I literally have just started. I was elected in November and sworn in on January 8th. I represent District 6, which is Treasure Island, Mission Bay, Rincon Hill, south of Market, Civic Center, and the Tenderloin. And I live in the Tenderloin on Hyde Street. What I committed when I was elected to all of you, many of you I got to talk to throughout the course of the campaign, was to immediately be accessible to you all here on Treasure Island, to make sure that I was listening to you, that I was bringing City Hall to you directly, and most importantly, that I was an independent advocate fighting for you. I think that very often what I heard is that City Hall and even sometimes your own supervisor can be less accessible than what you need. And I am committing to you from day one to try to do better, to first and foremost to listen, because I don't want to come out and start telling folks at City Hall what they need to do for Treasure Island without making sure it's what you all want me to be saying and doing. And also, for me, that has to start with showing up. This is, I think, the 7th time I've been on the island since I got elected. I was here on Sunday. I brought my whole team out here. We went to Merced, and then we went to the entire island as far as we could to drop off leaflets, and I'm sure many of you received those. Some of you I met on your doorstep. So we're serious about being here, but to me that's the bare minimum. Showing up is the first part. Actually standing up for you all and fighting for you all and standing with you is the most important part. So that's what my commitment is. This is my very first town hall that I've done as a supervisor in a neighborhood. We did a budget town hall in January, but we're going to do town halls all over my district. And I told Courtney the first one has to be on Treasure Island. That was what we planned for. So if you'll please just also give Courtney a round of applause. She planned. She's also, as she said, the one who you'll go to if you need something directly from our office. Her contact information as well as mine is up there. So really quickly about myself and what I hope that we cover tonight, and then we will bring up a couple of the other folks who are here to say hello, and then we'll open it up for questions and comments. I'm lifelong Bay Area native, born and raised here, raised by my mom. My family's from San Francisco. I have spent my entire career in public service. I'm an attorney. I've been a tenants' rights attorney, defending people who are facing eviction, including people here on the island. I've been an advocate for criminal justice reform. I started a national organization that did that. And I was a school board member for 6 years. So I actually have been in this very space. We had a forum that I was a part of, meeting with families to talk about educational access and access and services for kids on the island. So I've had experience here doing that. And then I was elected to serve on the Board of Supervisors this past November. I want to thank, also before I forget, ShipShape and One Treasure Island. If you also give them a round of applause for hosting that. And also just for the extraordinary work that they do all the time. When we were talking about where we should have this, I think everyone said it had to be here. So I'm just really, really grateful that they're hosting us. I want to just tell you some of the things that I'm interested in and that I want to hear from you on, because these are things that I know have already been brought to us, and we've also got people here who can respond to those things. One thing I'll say about each of these things, and some of the other folks who are here, and we're really grateful that we're here, I want to have an honest and open relationship with the people who I represent. So if you have something to tell me that you feel like I need to know, say it. And we've let folks from the agencies and departments know that that's what this meeting is about. So if you want me to answer the question in particular, I'm happy to do that. I'm not going to punt a question that has to do with a particular issue to someone else, because I want to know what's going on and specifically what you want me to do. Some of the things that I'm interested in and concerned about, the power outages. We want to make sure, and we've already been in conversation about how we can make sure that doesn't happen. And I'm so sorry, and I heard from many of you about that most recent power outage. And we were doing whatever we could to be in communication, but we know, and we've been talking about that we want to see the changes that make sure that this doesn't happen again, and that you all receive better communication around that. Transportation. Public transportation. I've heard from some folks about the bus sometimes not coming, being delayed, problems with public transportation here. We've got folks here from SFMTA as well, and I've already started to seek additional funding so that we make sure that we expand that service and protect it and think about other types of public transportation that you all need. The future development here and your rights and access to it and your understanding and transparency around what is going to happen and the rights and responsibilities and access that you all have to it. That is very important to me, and I've heard that a lot, and I am going to be advocating for you in that. Some of the questions around the environmental issues here. This has come up a lot, and we have questions, and I have questions. I want to hear what you all think about it and what you want me to do about it. The toll, the proposed toll. I've been pretty transparent since I was running, since I got into office. With all respect to the folks who are trying to figure out a solution here, I'm against the toll for the residents. We are trying to figure out what this means moving forward and what some of the other options are and what some of the other potential ways of thinking of this are, and I'm committed to that. But that's I'm not going to try to pretend that that's not my starting point, because I've said that and that's what I believe. There are a lot of other issues. There's the issue of Clipper Cove and the marina development. Want to hear from you all about that. And there's some questions that I have and some interest that I have on tenants issues and making sure that with folks either with buyouts or evictions and these kind of things, that you all make sure you have access and understanding of what your rights are. Treasure Island, as you know better than I do, is very unique when it comes to tenant issues. It's not under the jurisdiction of the rent board or the rent ordinance in the same way. And I think that lends itself to a heightened responsibility from the city and from your representatives to make sure that we're advocating for you. I'm interested in the affordable housing developments that are coming out here and supporting those as well. So those are some of the things that are on my mind, because some of it is because I've heard already from you all, and I want to know what you think about that and if there are things we should look into. And I'm happy to answer any questions about that or receive comments on it, or in some cases there may be people here who are better positioned to do that. So with that, we have folks here, as I said, from the SFMTA, from the Transportation Authority, from the Department of Emergency Management, from TIDA, and from the SFPUC. So one of the things that I want to do is have a direct conversation, but also make sure that the people who are managing a lot of this work are here for you as well, if that question is better directed towards them. And I really want to appreciate them. I'll thank them all individually for being here, but I think it's also demonstrating their commitment to showing up and being here and listening and responding, and hopefully helping us solve some of these problems. Folks from One Treasure Island are also here. So with that, I believe the first person we have up who's going to talk about some specific issues, and they're going to give sort of short overviews so you know who they are and who's here, and then we can go into questions and comments with all of that. So, Bob, are you? Okay.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Most people probably know you, so.
Yeah, I'll be brief because there's some newer faces for you all to meet. But again, for those that don't know me, Bob Beck with Treasure Island Development Authority, and we manage the existing facilities on the island as well as the redevelopment. Just wanted to highlight that some upcoming meetings for more information. Next Wednesday here in the Ship Shape is the contractors monthly construction meeting. And next April 10th, as we do every April and every November, the TIDA board meeting will be on the island in the gymnasium. So that's the evening of April 10th. And then the other one, just wanted to mention, there's some cards back there on the counter that Department of Children, Youth and Families on April 6th will be having a resource fair for summer programs and summer activities for children, youth, and families in San Francisco, and bringing that information to residents here on the island. So that's all I had, and look forward to seeing you next week and next month.